we'll move on to Cork, your own county. I suppose not really a great year at all for Cork. I mean, they were nearly relegated to Division 3. They got absolutely hammered by Kerry. Fair enough, they beat Limerick in that Munster Championship game, but even at that, they still weren't really brilliant. Absolutely, obliterated by Kerry after what was actually a very impressive first quarter. And then, Ronan McCarthy steps down. So I suppose as a Cork man yourself, what are you giving your own county here?
Jeez, how long do I have, Aaron? It's been an absolutely horrendous season, and people in Mayo and Dublin think it's bad not winning the All-Irelands. We haven't been close in years. Like, it's actually depressing at this stage. I might seem harsh as a Cork fan. I don't know about yourself giving this. I've given them an F. I think it's been absolutely horrendous. And considering, like, when you consider, like, in 2012, we were in the All-Ireland semi-final against Donegal. Coming out that day, who would have said we'd lose to Clare 3 times in 4 attempts and lose to Tip, I think 3 times in League and Championship over the last few years? You would have absolutely laughed. It's absolutely horrendous how it's unfolded, and considering that Kerry loss was the joint second biggest defeat in the Championship, only beaten by Leitrim's defeat to Mayo. Like, it says it all, really. It's absolutely horrendous. And you could say, yeah, Kerry are All-Ireland contenders, but like, their defence was there for the taking. Considering Tyrone beat them in the All-Ireland semi-final, they were there for the taking. And personally, I think Ronan made the right decision. They came to the right decision at the end, but like, I hope to God now we go outside the county. Like, Kevin O'Donovan, our CEO in the Cork GAA County Board, is being like, a lot of fans are saying to him, get someone from outside the county. I'd have to agree. Like, I can't see anybody in that in Cork managing this team other than Keith Ricken, but I suppose Keith Ricken has said previously he doesn't want the job. John Finton-Daly, who's done a good job at not agree. Like, other than that, I don't see anybody in the county of Cork. People are saying Bobby O'Dwyer, but he's from a losing regime. He's from the managerial setup from this year's loss to Kerry. So what good is that going to do? Like these young players are not going to develop if they're not going to be listening to the manager. Like you look at Brian Hayes and Jack Callan. Like, there's argument they'll go to hurling. They'll definitely go to hurling, considering the way the hurlers have improved and considering the mess in football at the moment. Like I personally go for someone like Kevin McStay, Malachy O'Rourke, Jim McGuinness. I know a lot of people would laugh at this, but we were All-Ireland champions in 2010. If Cork are to be serious about being All-Ireland contenders over the next few years, we have to go for the best. Simple as that. And considering Tyrone won the All-Ireland this year, Dublin, as we said previously, has a bit of friction at the camp. Kerry's defence is not great. Mayo can't win an All-Ireland. So this is a huge opportunity. And Cork are just messing it up as usual. And I think over the last few years, it's been an absolute mess. And considering the 4 All-Ireland semi-finalists, Tyrone in 2019, we were within 3 points of them in the Super 8s. Dublin, we were in the game until the last 10 minutes. Kerry, we beat last year. And Mayo, we should have beaten in 2017. So we're not far away. It's just the results against the smaller counties that are so frustrating. Like, against Kildare, the first game out this season, like, the commentator was saying we were playing a sweeper. I thought that was ridiculous, in all honesty. Like, Kildare struggled defensively. In the last game of 2020 against Meath, they conceded 5 goals. So what's the obvious thing? What's the obvious game plan? Attack them. That's how you win the game. And we persisted to play a sweeper. Like, I don't know what's going on in the Cork County Board. I think it needs to be... I suppose it's talked about when Cork go over the championship, but it wasn't this year because it was all about Kerry's win. But I think it's been a real fall from grace. I'd give him an F. I think it's embarrassing, frankly.
Yeah, no, I've given them an F as well. And James LeBron says here, McCarthy had to go, in my opinion, probably should have left after the loss to Tip last year. And Liam Horgan says, F for Cork, I agree. It baffles me what's happened to them in the last 10 years. And I'd agree with Liam there as well, actually. Like, it is really surprising to see what's happened with Cork. Like, I feel like, for example, you had Joe Brolly coming out with an article there, like digging into Mayo and going mad at Mayo. Like, but what about counties like Cork and, you know, like, for example, who have, all right, fair enough, they don't have the same population as Dublin, but they are, you know, a bigger county than Dublin in terms of size. So it is quite baffling that Cork aren't, like, they seem to be doing a lot right at underage level, like under 20, they seem to be always thereabouts. You know, they won an under 20 All-Ireland there, I think in 2019, wasn't it? And they seem to, you know, be bringing through, they seem to have the players there, but it just seems to be at senior level that, number one, they're not bringing those players through, in my opinion. Number two, like, for whatever reason, a lot of the quality players that they have, like don't seem to be performing as well as they can. Like, a lot of players are doing very well at club level, you know, with Nemo Rangers and whatnot. And we're seeing even, you know, in the college tournaments and whatnot as well. But for whatever reason with Cork, like, they just seem to, like, it seems to be always one step forward, one step back. Like, they'll produce a good performance here, but then a bad performance against, you know, like what you said, a Clare or a Kildare, for example. And every time there's a bit of positivity, it's followed by a bit of negativity, like beat Kerry and then lost to Tipperary. So, I mean, the next management position would be interesting. Like, Jim McGuinness would probably be an interesting one, all right. Like, certainly to see Cork probably play his style would be very interesting, no doubt about it. And to be honest, I don't know if Jim McGuinness would ever take a job in Gaelic football at inter-county level again. In all honesty, maybe Donegal. I feel like that's the only county he'd probably go back to. Kevin McStay, maybe, you know, like, you wouldn't rule that out either. That would certainly be an interesting one. And like what you said, obviously you had a few managers at underage level ruling themselves out of the senior management position. Like, I think that's a big sort of you know, worrying point as well. Like, and it is interesting because you have the Sports Direct deal and as well, you've Páirc Uí Chaoimh. Like, you've got the resources that other counties don't have, but yet a lot of other counties are surpassing what Cork are doing.
That's exactly the point. Like, I consider over the last few years, since Coonahan left in 2013, 2014 onwards, we've only reached the last 8 of the All-Ireland twice. Like that's a similar number to the likes of Fermanagh, Cavan, Kildare, Roscommon. Like I consider Roscommon, like in 2010, we met them in the quarter-final and we absolutely obliterated them. And you say 11 years later, Roscommon would be in a healthier position than Cork footballers, you would have said, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, it's absolutely diabolical what's happened over the last few years. And I don't think there's been a county that has fallen from grace so much since, well, I suppose Down is another example. We'll get to them in the minute, considering they were in the final with Cork in 2010. But like, over the last few years, it's been rough. It's been really rough. And considering we lost to Tipperary for the first time since the 1940s, we've got a record Munster final defeat. The only one to beat that was 1919, Clare losing to Kerry. So that was a long time ago. We had the second biggest defeat in the championship this season, only behind Leitrim. Like, that's our level at the moment. Leitrim, Longford. Like, we were considered above those counties in the Coonahan era with Canty, Cassan, all them players. But now we're on their level. Like, this is Cork. Like, it's absolutely shambolic what's happened over the last few years. And it's quite frankly embarrassing to be a Cork fan over the last few years, in all honesty. It might seem a bit of a rant now, but honestly, over the last few years, as Cork football fan particularly, I'm sick of it, in all honesty. And the next managerial appointment has to be right. Like, Tomás O'Shea said the next managerial appointment has to be right in 2017 when Peadar Healy left. That was Ronan McCarthy. That clearly didn't work either. We, in fairness, probably regressed under McCarthy, considering 2019 we were competitive in the Super 8s and we get a hammering off Kerry 2 years later. So where's the improvement? There's no improvement whatsoever. Despite what young underage success comes through, and despite the Sports Direct deal or Páirc Uí Chaoimh, unless you have the right men in place in the managerial system in Cork, nothing's going to change. We're still going to get hammerings off the likes of Kerry or Division 2 hammerings. And the way things are going, I might be far, but I think we're going down to Division 3 again. I think Offaly are much better than us now. Tomás O'Shea has gone there, so he definitely want to beat Cork. I suppose Dowd are probably the only team at our same level. Clare beaten us plenty times over the last few years. Derry are much better than us, improving. So I don't see how we'll stay up at Division 2 if things are currently in place at the moment. Like the only way I could see us staying in Division 2, surviving in Division 2, is bringing someone like McStay or someone like Malachy O'Rourke, just to improve things in the county a small bit. But unless that happens, it's dark times for Cork football. No matter what young players are coming through, or no matter what financial systems come through. And as regards to population, Cork has a bigger population than the country of Iceland. It's a huge county. There's no excuse for it whatsoever. Like it's absolutely depressing to be a Cork fan at the moment, and I hope it improves next year. But for this year, it's been embarrassing, frankly.
Thank you very much for watching this clip of the very most recent podcast uploaded on the channel. If you do enjoy this content, please leave a like and subscribe so you're notified every time I do drop a new upload, and it does very much help the channel grow and help the channel reach more people. So I very much would appreciate if you could leave a like and subscribe, and let me know down in the comments below what you thought of the video. You can also follow the page on Instagram, and you can also follow on Facebook, Twitter, Spotify. You can follow on all social media platforms as well. So if you're not already followed over there, go over there and give the page a follow to help the channel grow as well. So I do very much appreciate anyone tuning in, and I'll see you all later.